So welcome everybody to another edition of Pickleball Podcast with Gordy. And I've got none other than Chris Novic, who is the, director here at Redcliffe Tennis Centre here in Brisbane. And it's a focus
pickleball. Tennis and pickleball.
And
pickleball.
So
yes.
Tell us a bit about your journey, Chris, because it's an interesting one.
Yeah, well, obviously we started off as a tennis centre 12 years ago. My wife and I took over the tennis centre. We worked our butts off to be a successful tennis centre.
And you still do. I've been watching you all weekend.
And it is still our primary focus because that's my passion is tennis. It's a big part of my life. But one day I came across pickleball and fell in love with everyone else in the country. And said, hey, let's give it a go.
Yeah, well, tell us a bit about your tennis background, because you were an elite tennis player.
Yeah.
And then you've transitioned to pickleball.
Yeah, so obviously played at juniors, did well my juniors, started breaking through into the pro ranks, and then injury, trying to rotate a cuff a couple of times, and that was the end. Then ended up in coaching, headed overseas to the US and worked in the US for a few years. Gained a lot of experience, spent some time in Europe as well, and brought my knowledge into what we do now here in Redcliffe. And it's just, I love the sport. It's been part of my whole life. I've been since I was 3 years old. But the tennis courts don't get used all the time.
Right.
So there's a quiet time that we thought, okay, how can we get more people in? Schools, they're playing tennis, but they still weren't engaged. As you know, if you have played tennis, it's a hard sport to play. Mm-hmm. And even as you get to an adult, and if you start in your late adult lifetime, it's hard to pick up. Whereas pickleball, you can pick it up. It's fun. It's social. You can see yourself improving quicker.
Yep.
And for us, that was a win-win.
Yep.
And then once the schools came out and they started playing pickleball, kids were giving each other high fives. They were, playing with their mates. Boys playing against girls, teenage boys and girls, they want to try to interact a bit. So it was a win-win. And it's just seeing the smiles on the faces, not just with the schools, but just with, in general, people that come through the centre. It melts our hearts in a way to see that we can actually bring that to our community. And people that never would have walked through the doors, even knew that we existed, now know. And obviously now as us being known as probably a centre in Australia and also maybe overseas as well, people getting to know Focus Pickleball. It's been a great journey so far. So
did it take any convincing, because I imagine the step to move into pickleball would have been a huge step at the time, and convincing other stakeholders? And
it was a bit scary, but I thought, well, you know what, at the end of the day I've got to do what's right for our community, what's right for our business model as well. I believe that tennis and pickleball can join and be one. I don't understand why other tennis clubs aren't doing what we're doing. It's good revenue as well, but it's just, like I said, the community, bring people coming in.
Yeah.
The centre's thriving all the time. Yes, there's been a few people upset. We're not here to upset people. We're here to actually make a difference in people's lives.
Offer a bigger experience.
You play tennis, you can play pickleball. On this example, Saturday mornings, we've got parents playing pickleball and their kids are doing tennis lessons. And then after they come together, they play the tennis after, they have a game of pickleball. So you're bringing families together. And that's what we want. That's what we're a family-run business. My family's involved very heavily, my children, my wife. So we want to see that, families stay together and play together.
Yeah.
So it's a nice feeling.
All right. Now, I think that's the call for the final of the men's singles.
Yes.
So we better get cracking. But is there anything you wanted to wrap up with, Chris?
Oh, look, I just want to thank the support of all the pickleball players in Queensland and Australia for coming out and supporting what we do here. It was a bit of a dream a few years ago. And now that it's all happening, sometimes I sit in the grandstands and look out the courts and get emotional sometimes, because it's like, we did this, and when we won Queensland Pickleball Club of the Year last year, I just broke down because it was just so much stress and pressure has been put on us. And to actually then succeed and say what we've done is the right thing, it was actually a nice moment for myself. So I have copped a bit, but I love that what we do, and I look forward to people coming out and utilising our venue and playing here, and hopefully the sport can grow together and get more tennis clubs involved in what we're doing. And always happy to chat to other clubs and share our knowledge and our experiences, and hopefully both sports can, you know, combine and work together, and that'll be just peaceful. Be forever be a great, you know, journey.
Yeah. Well, the thing I know for sure is people absolutely love coming here to Redcliffe,
Lovely, thank
to
you.
this particular club. I mean, you've hosted quite a number of tournaments now.
I think I've lost count now.
And everybody raves about it.
Yeah,
you know?
it's good. And that's what we did. That's
Yes.
what we want.
So
you know.
thanks so much
Pleasure.
for joining me, Chris.
Pleasure.
And we'll catch you on the next edition
Yeah.
of Pickleball Podcast with Gordy.
Come on down for a hit anytime.
Awesome.
Cheers. Thanks, mate.